Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda So we are continuing with Sri Caitanya Charitamrta Adi Lila, chapter number 4, text number 219. Kamsari rapi samsara vasana baddha srinkhalam radham adhaya hridaye tatyaja vraja sundarihi. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, left aside the other gopis during the Rasa dance and took Srimati Radharani to his heart. For she is the helper of the Lord in realizing the essence of his desires. Purport. In this verse from the Gita Govinda 3.1, Jayadev Goswami describes Sri Krishna's leaving the Rasa Leela to search for Srimati Radha Rani. Text 220. Sei Radhara Bhavalana Chaitanya Avatara Yuga Dharma Nama Prema Kaila Parachara. Translation. Lord Chaitanya appeared with the sentiment of Radha. He preached the dharma of this age, the chanting of the holy name and pure love of God. Text 221. Sei bhave nija vancha karila purana avatarira ei vancha mula karana. Translation. In the mood of Srimati Radharani, he also fulfilled his own desires. This is the principal reason for his appearance. Text 222. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Gosani Vrajendra Kumara Rasamaya Murti Krishna Sakshata Shringara. Translation. Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya is Krishna, Rajendra Kumar, the embodiment of rasas. He is amorous love personified. Text 223. Sei rasa asvadite kaila avatara anusange kaila sabarasira prachara. Translation. He made his appearance to taste that conjugal mellow and incidentally to broadcast all the rasas. Text 224. Vishvesham anuranjena janayan ananda andivyara Shreni Shamala Kumalair Upanayan Anger Anangotsavam Swachandanam Rajasundari Bhiravita Pratyanga Alingitaha Shringaraha Sakhi Murtiman Iva Madhau Mukta Hari Kridati. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. My dear friends, just see how Sri Krishna is enjoying the season of spring. With the gopis embracing each of his limbs, he is like amorous love personified. With his transcendental pastimes, he enlivens all the gopis and the entire creation. With his soft bluish black arms and legs, which resemble blue lotus flowers, he has created a festival for Cupid. Purport. This is also a verse from the Gita Govinda 1.11, text 225. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Gosani Rase Rasadana Ashesha Vishesha Kaila Rasa Asvadana. Translation. Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya is the abode of rasa. He himself tasted the sweetness of rasa in endless ways. Text 2 to 6. Sei dware pravartaila kali yuga dharma chaitanyera dasi jane ei sabamarma. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Thus he initiated the dharma for the age of Kali. The devotees of Lord Chaitanya know all these truths. Purport. Lord Chaitanya is Sri Krishna himself, the absolute enjoyer of the love of the gopis. He himself assumes the role of the gopis to taste the predominated happiness of transcendental mellows. He appeared in that mode, but simultaneously he propagated the religious process for this age in a most fascinating way. Only the confidential devotees of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu can understand this transcendental secret. We'll read till verse 233. Text 227 to 228. Advaita Acharya Nityananda Srinivasa Gadadhara Damodara Murari Haridasa Arayata Chaitanya Krishnera Bhakta Gana Bhakti Bhave Sire Dhari Sabara Charana. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Advaita Acharya, Lord Nityananda, Srivas Pandit, Gadadhar Pandit, Swarup Damodar, Murari Gupta, Haridas Thakur, and all the other devotees of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, bowing down with devotion, I hold their lotus feet on my head. Purport. The author of Sri Caitanya Caritamrta teaches us that we must offer our respectful obeisances to all such pure confidential devotees of Lord Chaitanya if we indeed want to know him in truth. Text 2 to 9. Shashta shlokera ei kahila abhasa mula shlokera artha shuna kariye prakasha. Translation. I have given a hint of the sixth verse. Now please hear as I reveal the meaning of that original verse. Text 230. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kitrisho Vanayeva Swadhya Yenad Bhutamud Madhum Prima Kitrisho Vamadiyaha Saukhyam Chasya Mad Anubhavataha Kitrisham Veti Lobhat Tadbhavadhyaya Samajani Sachi Garbha Sindhau Hari Duhu. Translation. Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi as the moon appeared from the ocean. Text 231. Ei sab siddhanta gudha kahite na yuyaya na kahile keha ihara anta nahi paya. Translation. All these conclusions are unfit to disclose in public, but if they are not disclosed, no one will understand them. Text 232. Ataiva kahi kichu kari nani gudha Bujehi be rasika bhakta na bujhi budha. Translation. Therefore, I shall mention them, revealing only their essence, so that loving devotees will understand them, but fools will not. Last verse 233. Hridaya dharaye ye chaitanya nityananda esab siddhante sei pai be ananda. Translation. Anyone who has captured Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu in his heart will become blissful by hearing all these transcendental conclusions. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna, thank you for coming. Long time since we had a class. I guess we all have probably forgotten what we heard a month ago. We forget what we heard today. What's the point of thinking of 1 month ago? But there are so many beautiful points that even Srila Prabhupada is bringing out in his purports. First of all, in verse number 220, we saw that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is talking about the dharma for Kali Yuga, which is chanting of the holy names. Why? Because it's only chanting that can take us to pure love for Krishna. That is the only way. So if our goal is to develop love for Krishna, if our goal is to go back to Godhead, then it would be very sensible to say that we should focus on chanting. Does that make sense? Focus on chanting. Srila Prabhupada says 99% of our progress in spiritual life depends on chanting. I was listening to a lecture yesterday from Harrisburg, and Prabhu was saying that when we chant, we should not chant on autopilot. That was such a powerful sentence, right? Autopilot. Which means we take the beads in our hands, we start the chanting, and then let the chanting go on. And we go somewhere else. Like our mind will go somewhere else, our eyes will go somewhere else, our ears will go somewhere else. So that is called autopilot. Then after 16 rounds, we say, aha, I finished all my rounds, so let me put my bead bag aside. But here we see that Prabhupada is saying that 99% of our progress depends on attentive chanting. I was hearing Srila Prabhupada's lecture, and he said that for us to do attentive chanting, one must wake up by what time you think? 2:30? 3?
4:30.
4:30? Okay. All these thoughts, what does it bring to your mind? What do we think when we say wake up 2:30 in the morning, wake up 3 in the morning? Oh my Krishna, oh my Govinda, right? Prabhupada is saying we must wake up before 4 a.m. Before 4 a.m. Then it could be 2:33, 3:30, whatever. But before 4 a.m. Chant in the morning, because in the morning, chanting is probably attentive. And he said that we must try and finish our rounds in the morning. Chant clearly, hear what we are chanting, focus on the sound vibrations, and then we will be able to progress spiritually. So Srila Prabhupada explained that when we are chanting, it is our one-on-one time with Krishna. Throughout the day, it is not. Throughout the day, it is with family, with boss, with relatives or society or whatever it may be, right? Once chanting is over, once we have finished our morning duties, morning program, etc., then what happens? Then we have our association with, like they say, Tom, Dick, and Harry, right? With all different kinds of people. So Prabhupada says that even this verse number 220, it is said that Caitanya Mahaprabhu came to give us this Yuga Dharma. And the Yuga Dharma in Kali Yuga is just chanting the holy names of the Lord. And that is the only way that can help us to go back to Godhead. Now, Srila Prabhupada explains that when Caitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, he appeared in the sentiment of Srimati Radharani, in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Why? Because he wanted to experience, he wanted to, what is the best word to use? He wanted to, what's the best word? Not just experience, feel, relish. Relish is the right word. He wanted to relish what Srimati Radharani relishes when she is thinking about Krishna. That was the mood in which Caitanya Mahaprabhu came. And we have seen, we have heard, even in Srimad Bhagavatam, we have heard in Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna, out of his compassionate nature, merciful nature, he came 500 years ago. Imagine if he did not come as Caitanya Mahaprabhu. We did not have the holy name. We did not know about Krishna consciousness. We didn't know what is the Yuga Dharma. Just like Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, they all have their own dharmas. What about Kali Yuga? We won't have had any idea. And today, would we be sitting and hearing Chaitanya Charitamrita? No. We probably would be sleeping because we wouldn't know that we should wake up by 4 o'clock, right? We wouldn't have got the teachings of Caitanya Mahaprabhu or the purpose of Srila Prabhupada. So it is actually the mercy personification of Srimati Radharani is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now that we have this opportunity of Krishna consciousness, we should take it very sincerely, very seriously, do some planning. If we have not done any planning, then we should do some planning. How, if I'm not able to wake up by 4 o'clock, how can I wake up at 4 o'clock? If I'm not able to chant attentively, what should I do to be able to chant attentively? If I'm not able to progress, if I'm on a plateau, I'm just going the same thing every day, day in, day out, I'm doing the same thing. How can I progress? When we start focusing on all that, then we will be able to see progress in our life. I had once asked a question to Guru Maharaj that how do we know that we are progressing spiritually, right? Just like when we feel feverish, what do? We immediately take the thermometer and want to check what is my fever, what is my temperature. Similarly, we need to know what is our spiritual temperature. So Guru Maharaj said that as soon as we see that our material desires are going down and our spiritual desires are increasing, that means we are progressing spiritually. But if there is no change, no difference, that means we are on a plateau. Now, in verse 221, we saw that Krishna had the desire to relish what Srimati Radharani is relishing. So he came in her mode. And that Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami is saying was the principal reason for appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago. Of course, Prabhupada says, no one can surpass Radharani's love for Krishna. There's no one who can love Krishna more than Srimati Radharani. Not even the gopis. Radharani is the topmost lover of Krishna. Her love for Krishna is on the topmost platform. And she is the pleasure potency of Krishna. What is that called? Hiladini Shakti. She is the pleasure potency of Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came in that mood and he wanted to fulfill his own desire. Now one may say, Prabhupada says, why is it that we have desires? Because Krishna has desires. We are his parts. He has desires, so we also have desires. The only difference is he has spiritual desires and we have mostly material desires. So Krishna wanted to fulfill his own desire and he wanted to relish what Srimati Radharani is relishing, and that is why he came down as Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And he wanted to taste that conjugal mellow of Srimati Radharani. The same pleasure that she gets, he also wanted to experience. Now, yesterday, if you remember, was the disappearance day of Gopala Bhatta Goswami. So in emails, if we have subscribed to Vaishnava calendar, they send us a reminder, okay, tomorrow is disappearance day of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and then they give you a link to read about that Goswami. So I always click on that link, and I clicked on that link, and there was such beautiful description about Gopala Bhatta Goswami, but also about Caitanya Mahaprabhu. I'd like to read that. It said, the temple of Sri Ranga Kshetra was extremely large. The crest of the temple tower pierced the sky. Throughout the day and night, hundreds and thousands of pilgrims were going and coming to take darshan of Lord Ranganath. The temple hall resounded with the sounds of hundreds and thousands of Brahmanas chanting Vedic hymns. In the midst of this scene, from Vaikuntha entered Sri Gaura Sundara. Who is Gaura Sundara? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chanting the names of Krishna in his sweet voice that defeated the voices of 10 million Gandharvas. Imagine how sweet that would be. You see, it is, we have heard that the Gandharvas, when they sing, it's so sweet, it's so melodious. But here it's saying more than 10 million Gandharvas. Everyone in the temple became dumbstruck, amazed, and thrilled with wonder. What unprecedented beauty! His bodily effulgence makes molten gold appear lackluster. From his eyes, which are like the full-blown petals of a lotus flower, trickled down tears of ecstatic love. Just visualize, so beautiful. In Sri Rangam, this is what is happening. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to on that South India tour, this is what the people there, the devotees there envisioned. This is what they saw. Then from his eyes, which are like the full-blown petals of a lotus flower, trickled down tears of ecstatic love. Every limb, every part of his body was filled with such exquisite grace that even the mind of Cupid gets stolen away. The Brahmanas began to consider, is this a demigod? Can such symptoms and emotions be found in human beings? Again, resounding the halls with the transcendental vibrations of Sri Hari's name, when he came before the deity and fell down as a tree is blown down by the wind, some people thought that a mountain of gold was rolling on the ground. Just imagine, so beautiful. I was fully blown away by this description. So beautifully it's described about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his mood, how he felt when he chanted his own name. His name is Sri Hari, and he's chanting Sri Hari, and he's experiencing all this, bliss. And what is happening? It's like molten gold falling on the ground, rolling on the ground. So we see excuse me, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came, he of course came to give us the Yuga Dharma of chanting. He came to preach to us about Krishna consciousness, but also preach to us about different mellows, the rasas. What are the different rasas? 5 primary rasas are there, right? Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. These are the 5 principal rasas. So he came to preach those rasas. And he gave us a simple process by which we can get into that mood, get into that rasa, and develop love for Krishna. And what happens when we chant? We will be able to develop that rasa. Chanting is very, very powerful. See, Prabhupada, many times in his lecture, he inquires from us, what is your purpose in life? What is your goal in life? So that is a meditation that can help us to progress. Thinking, okay, what is my goal? Let me write it down. Is it going back to Godhead? Okay. What needs to be done to go back to Godhead? Now that I know I have a list, am I doing that? Am I able to reach my goal? Am I working towards my goal? Don't we have goals in offices, right? The boss will give a goal. This is the deadline. You got to, what do you do? In software production, this is a production date, right? Is that correct? What else is called deployment, right? You get a deadline. Can you go beyond that deadline? No. You have that goal, then you keep everything else aside and focus on the goal. My boss says this is a deadline, I got to meet this deadline. If I don't, then I might get a pink slip, which means I lose my job. The same applies for spirituality also in Krishna consciousness. Are we meeting our deadline? What is our deadline? That's my question. What do you think is our deadline? When we are dead, right? Death is our deadline. Do we know our deadline? No way. We are not fortunate like Parikshit Maharaj who got 7 days notice. Yes, there are some fortunate, I wouldn't say fortunate, but there are some people who get deadlines like, okay, you have this deadly disease and you may live only for 3 months or 6 months or something. So some ballpark idea is there. Do we have a deadline? No. Which means Prabhupada says for us, every moment should be considered like a deadline. I don't know if I'm going to be alive next moment. We don't know if we will finish today's lecture, but we have a plan. After the lecture, we will do this and we'll do that and we'll do that. Yes or no, right? We have program, we have focused program, but we don't know when is our deadline. So Prabhupada is trying to explain to us that we should somehow or the other try to make the best use of this bad bargain of human form of life. In fact, human form of life is a very serious business. It is not used to live like, animals do. No. Yes, we in material life, we are in material world, we have a material body, so we have material family, we have material duties, we have material relationships, we have material responsibilities. This will go on, right? Say today I leave my body, you think my family will stop living? No, maybe 2 days, 3 days till morning is over. After that, life goes back to normal. So if we are only going to focus on material duties, then we will start lacking in spiritual duties. We need to make spirituality our priority, and that will please Guru and Krishna. So here in verse number 224, we saw that Jayadev Goswami, who wrote Gita Govinda, beautiful verses, glorifying Radha Krishna's pure love, he also was glorifying the rasa dance. Right? Like you can see here on this picture, it's the rasa dance. Krishna with the gopis, and each gopi is thinking Krishna is only with me. But actually, Krishna is with all the gopis. He has expanded himself to be with each and every gopi. So here, Jayadev Goswami is glorifying the rasa dance, the transcendental pastimes of Radha Krishna. And these verses that we read today, especially about Radha and Krishna's love, these are actually like windows to the spiritual world. Prabhupada used to say, even these beautiful pictures that are there, they are like windows to the spiritual world. Right? Say, supposing in the morning when I'm chanting and I'm looking at this picture, you can literally, right? Okay, this is what the spiritual world looks like. This is what Radha and Krishna look like. So these verses also like a picture to the spiritual world. And the 6 Goswamis, like we read about, we prayed to Gopala Bhatta Goswami yesterday on his disappearance day. Similarly, these 6 Goswamis, they give us many instructions. Why? For our benefit. They give us such beautiful books like Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, like Jayadev Goswami gave us Gita Govinda. This all is there so that we can follow these instructions and become fully Krishna conscious. Now, to become fully Krishna conscious, one has to perform austerity. I know it's an austerity to sit down and hear for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, or whatever, right? It is an austerity. It's an austerity for the speaker also to sit and then start fidgeting and start trying to find some comfortable place, position, so that back is not hurting, head is not hurting, right? It's an austerity. Why do we do this austerity? It's not that we have nothing else to do. We have vele baithe, we have nothing else to do. We have free time. So come on, let's go here. Caitanya Charitamrta. No, we have a lot of things to do, but this is a priority. These are the instructions given to us by these pure devotees of the Lord. So Krishna consciousness is a life of austerity, which means we chant 16 rounds attentively. We do the morning program. We associate with devotees. We read Srila Prabhupada's books. We distribute books. We preach Krishna consciousness. We eat only Krishna. The list goes on and on and on. And all this is for our benefit. In verse number 226, it is said that Caitanya Mahaprabhu initiated dharma for Kali Yuga. That was one of the reasons why he came 500 years ago, to give us Krishna consciousness, to explain to us that dharma, which is laws of the Supreme Lord, dharma is called religion, not man-made religion, but laws of the Supreme Lord. And so he initiated this dharma for Kali Yuga, which is Harinam Sankirtanam. Now, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says the devotees know the truth. Why? because they are surrendered to Krishna. But there are many actually who don't know. They are considered to be foolish. And here, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that the confidential devotees of the Lord understand this, not everybody. And confidential devotees are ones who are surrendered to the Supreme Lord. They know who is Caitanya Mahaprabhu. He is Krishna himself. They know that he has come in Radharani's mood. They know that he is relishing the topmost love that Srimati Radharani relishes. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that the confidential devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they know the secret. Like Bhagavad Gita, it's a secret. Krishna says, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam. Guhyam means it's a secret. Then you may say, oh, you have so many Bhagavad Gitas here. Anyone can open and read what is the secret. The secret is that one may be able to read it, hear it, but not understand it. The secret is unfolded by Krishna himself. When he sees the sincerity of the devotee, then he reveals himself to the devotee. Otherwise, it remains a secret. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that confidential devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu know the secret and they are ready to share. They want to give. But the big $1 million question is, do we want to take it? Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, that this knowledge is so valuable, but it's being given free. That's why people don't have value for it. You see? Why is it that when we distribute book, we ask for a donation? Because when people give their hard-earned money, they value that book. They say, oh, I paid $10, let me at least read it. Right? My hard-earned $10 are gone. So let me, but if it's free, they just put it on shelf. And then what happens? It collects dust. Then maybe somebody who visits or what relative or whoever may be fortunate enough to pick it up and start reading it. So they are ready to share, but are we ready to take it? Spiritual master who is in strict disciplic succession is ready to guide us. Are we ready to take the guidance? Do we want to be fully surrendered to the Lord? Do we want to be guided by the spiritual master? All these questions should come upon in our minds, and we need to find answers to that. If yes, then what are we doing to take this knowledge? What are we doing to take on this guidance? Srila Prabhupada, he has given us everything, on a platter. So all we need to do is take advantage of it. Now in verse number 227, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is teaching us proper Vaishnava etiquette. There's a book on that. If you all remember, when Janardhan Maharaj came, he gave a lecture on Vaishnava etiquette, remember? Yeah, I saved all those lectures, downloaded them. Remember, you had posted all the links, so download it so we can hear it again and again. So one of the Vaishnava etiquettes that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is talking about in verse 227 is bowing down with devotion at the lotus feet of pure devotees. With devotion. What will be the result? The truth will be revealed, because the pure devotees will bless and the truth will be revealed. So I was hearing one lecture when Prabhu was saying that we should definitely bow down to all the devotees, but we should also bow down to all living entities. Should have respect for all living entities. It doesn't matter whether devotee or not a devotee. But when we are bowing down to a devotee, what is the state of our consciousness? Let me get over with it. Let me bow down, finish it off, because I have to offer respects. Or what is going on in the mind? Let me offer, just like in the mornings, in the morning program, we say, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubha evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. When we are reciting that verse, when we are bowing down to all the Vaishnavas, the thought should be that this is not a ritual that I'm performing, that everyone performs after Mangalarti. So let me also do that. No, when we bow down, we should offer respects with our heart, with love and devotion. That is proper Vaishnava etiquette. Because as we have heard, that the thoughts lead to words and words lead to actions. So if our thoughts are so pure that genuinely we are offering our respects to the devotee. Why? Because Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. And I'm offering my humble obeisances to the Supreme Lord in the heart of all the devotees, of all the living entities. So this is what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is teaching us Vaishnava etiquette in verse number 227. I have started reading Srimad Bhagavatam again, and now I've reached Canto 9, and I'm in chapter actually 23 now. But when I was reading chapter 21, talking about Vaishnava etiquette, I remembered the pastime of Rantideva. Do you remember King Rantideva? A wonderful surrendered soul, a wonderful devotee of Krishna. He was a king, but he was very humble, very compassionate, and he had full faith in Krishna, complete faith. He believed that whatever happened to him in his life was by the mercy of Krishna. Whether it was good or bad, if it was a problem or misery or whatever, he accepted everything as the mercy of Krishna. So it is said in that pastime that because he knew everything is Krishna's arrangement, he was equipoised, he was not disturbed. He fasted for 48 days. We fast one day and we get so restless. What is the break time tomorrow? When can I eat grains? Today, Ekadashi, I have become so weak. Oh, today I cannot read because I am so weak. My chanting also is Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, because there is no energy in me, right? 48 days fasting. No food, no water. But when Ekadashi is there, it's a feast day for us. What's there today for Ekadashi? It has to be some sabudana kheer. No, I don't want to talk about prasadam now because we are concentrating on fasting of Rantideva for 48 days. After 48 days, after giving respect to all the brahmanas, he sat down to break the fast. So he had prasadam there and he had water there with him to break the fast. So all of a sudden, a Shudra came. And the Shudra was hungry. So what did Rantideva say? Excuse me, fasting 48 days, can't you see I'm all famished and I'm dying of hunger? Come tomorrow. No. He made him sit, gave him full respect, and gave his prasadam to him to eat. Now, mind you, his family also was fasting with him. So that prasadam was for the whole family, not just him. He was giving away his family's prasadam also to the Shudra. Why? Because he saw that Shudra as part of Krishna. After that came a guest with dogs. He offered respect to the dogs also. And whatever little prasadam was left, he gave that also away. Now only water was left. Imagine our halat. If our prasadam is gone after fasting day and only water is left, we will be like, oh, the mind will be thinking, let these people go and I'm going to cook this for me and I'm going to... No, he was completely dependent on Krishna. He knew this is Krishna's arrangement. So when only water was left, and that water was left only for one person. That means the whole family's water also was gone. Only one person's water was left. And there came a Chandala. And when the Chandala came and said, I am very thirsty, Rantideva knew that he is going to die because of thirst. no food, water for 48 days, and he is about to die. At that time, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva appeared. They were the ones who had disguised themselves as these guests. They knew that he was totally surrendered. Ranti Deva didn't know this is Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva coming to test me. But Ranti Deva's consciousness was he meditated on Lord Vishnu's lotus feet. His pure devotee, free from all material desires, material contamination, and that's why Maya could not attract him. Maya is there waiting. Actually, Maya is more alert with devotees. Those who are already in Maya, she doesn't need to bother them. They're already in her control. But the devotees, she is always there to see when do they slip so that I can enter into their lives and take them away from Krishna. In verse number 23, there's a beautiful description of Radharani's love for Krishna, glories of her love for him. And as I said before, also a few classes before, when we started reading about these, mellows and pastimes and rasa dance and all, Radharani's love. If you remember, I had mentioned, I'm not qualified to talk about all that because I don't have realization about all this. But it is good to know. It is good to hear. It's not easy to comprehend this topic. In fact, it is very, very difficult. It's because it's a very high level topic indeed. I remember when in the early days, in the late 80s, when we were in Juhu, Mumbai, there was our god brother. What was his name? I forget. He's the one who taught me harmonium, to sing Hare Krishna on harmonium, different tunes. And he would come to our house for our programs on Friday evenings, and he would start the kirtan because he sang very beautifully and everyone really was mesmerized by her kirtans. So there was one day when he was teaching me and he started singing about Srimati Radharani. Beautiful song he taught me, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Radhe, Jai Radhe, Shri Radhe. Jai Krishna, Krishna, Jai Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. So that time when he was teaching me, I told him, why don't you sing this on Fridays? He said, no, it's about Srimati Radharani. It's very high level. And those who come on Friday are new people. They are newcomers. They are learning Bhagavad Gita. He was so particular about that not even sing glories of Srimati Radharani. Like Guru Maharaj says, we should preach, we should explain to people to chant Hare Krishna, but not teach them the deeper meaning of the Hare Krishna mantra, because they don't have that much faith. Let them grow in Krishna consciousness. Let them become more with more firm faith. Then we can explain the deeper meaning of the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So these topics, yes, I'm not qualified to talk about it, but it's good to hear because Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has given it to us in the book, in Caitanya Charitamrta, so that we can read and gradually develop our love and devotion even for Srimati Radha Rani. So it's difficult to understand Radha Rani's emotions for Krishna, her love for Krishna, how do we understand her happiness when she sees Krishna or when she talks about Krishna? What is she relishing through her love? Very high level topic. But it's nice to hear. In verse number 231, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that this topic is unfit to disclose in public. He's saying it. Then why is he giving it in public? He's giving it in public because, he wants to give it out, but not give the inner, deeper meaning of it. And he says that devotees will understand it, but those who are foolish will not understand it. Then in 232, he says that he is trying to reveal the essence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. He's trying to reveal only the essence, not everything, so that the devotees can understand. Just like, Prabhupada says that when we preach, we should keep in mind Desha Kalapatra, right? To whom we are preaching, what is the time, what is the place, what are the circumstances. Based on that, we preach. Like if someone calls me and says, talk about Krishna to first graders, what will I say? Something very simple. Or for instance, I'm a math teacher and I'm told go to first graders and teach them math. What will I teach them? 2 plus 2 equals 4. But if they send me to a high school, standard or class, I'm going to teach calculus. Right? It's based on time, place, and circumstance. So Prabhupada says that even to preach, we need intelligence. But also, besides intelligence and knowledge, we need the mercy of Guru and Krishna. So when we chant attentively, when Prabhupada says, when we have a strong morning program, when we wake up before 4 o'clock, do the morning program, chant our rounds in the morning, read Srila Prabhupada books every day, then we also get mercy of the Supreme Lord and the spiritual master to preach nicely. The last verse for today is verse 233, where, of course, it's a very beautiful verse, where it gives us the process how to become blissful, how to capture the hearts of Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. What beautiful verse. Capture. Now one may say they are already there in our heart. Krishna is already in our heart. What is the point of capturing? He is there, but have we realized him? So capture the hearts of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually a process. And Prabhupada says it's a simple process and it's a doable process that we can do. But what it requires is sincerity and seriousness. I was very happy to read this, capture their hearts in our heart. A beautiful thought indeed. Now, to do that, to be able to follow this process of Krishna consciousness also, we need association of devotees. See, the association of devotees is like a treasure house. I feel very happy when devotees come to my house, even with the excuse of this class only. Or if, someone invites me, come to my house, we are having a get together, not a party get together, but we'll do some kirtan together and we'll read. It's so blissful. Don't you feel bliss when you associate with devotees? Like in Rath Yatra, we're so happy to meet the devotees. I don't see anyone crying or frowning, in association of devotees. That because it's blissful, because the association of devotees helps us to recharge our spiritual batteries. Don't our batteries start getting discharged gradually? Wow, we charge our phone every day. You had posted something very nice, charging the phone, why not charge with the Bhagavad Gita? Such a beautiful poster, right? So if we are charging our iPhone batteries every day, why not charge our spiritual batteries also? When we went to Zurich Rath Yatra, it was so beautiful. It was small, a very small Rath. Very small deities, so beautiful deities. I've never seen such beautiful Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. Of course, every time we see deities, we find them beautiful everywhere. This was amazing. Such a small cart, just few devotees, maybe 100 devotees, not more than that. But there was so much bliss. The devotees were so humble, so loving, so caring, and so much in devotion. Even while distributing prasadam, we could see that they distributed with so much love. Not that here is on kela, here is on apple, take this, take that. Oh, so much love and devotion. This is what association does, especially when we associate with humble, sincere devotees. It's a small temple, but their hearts are very big. I remember that I came to know that Vikram and Liam also went to Zurich temple when I was in some other place. I had gone to another place, and they went, and I believe they sat in kirtan for 2 hours. Unheard of. So my question was, what attracted you? They said the devotion of the devotee who was chanting, was singing very slowly, very beautifully. It was melodious, but with so much devotion that they didn't feel like leaving. I've never heard 2 hours sitting in kirtan. We'll be like, oh, the back is hurting. Oh, I'm hungry. I need to do. No, this is what association of devotees does. And it is just nothing but purity. Purity is the force, Krishna says. When there's purity, then everything else falls in place. So how do we start? What is the first step that we take is focus on our chanting. When we focus on our chanting, then everything else will fall in place. So I'm going to stop now, but I want to thank you all for your association. I just cherish it. I just love it. So thank you very much. And I'm going to stop now if anyone has any questions or comments.